Well, welcome everybody to our very next VO vlog. We like to do these as often as we can so we can impart some knowledge and some helpful tips to you. Today I'm joined with Mark, our Strategy and Partnership Director, and we're going to talk sales. I know sales is close to your heart, Mark.
Certainly is, Ray.
I'm going to fire away with the first question.
Wonderful. What
are some good sales strategies people can employ?
I think firstly, listen more than you speak. That's definitely core. Secondly, focus on the customer's problem and come up with a great solution for them.
Okay, yep.
And do what you say.
Well, do what you say is a pretty big one. That'll get them across the line every time, won't it?
Definitely.
Okay, question 2.
Yes.
What is the difference between inbound and outbound leads for those people who don't know the jargon?
Sure. Well, an inbound lead for me is something that's defined as being coming through a pull channel. This normally comes from marketing activity that generates either an inbound inquiry through a website or a phone call.
Okay, great.
An outbound lead is usually driven through a push channel, such as a field sales channel, door-to-door, or an outbound telemarketing team.
Fantastic. So for example, is that a flyer, like a letterbox drop? Is that outbound or is that inbound?
No, that's actually inbound,
there you go.
Technically speaking, because it's less invasive and it's a form of marketing, and that would then drive an inbound inquiry. So it's not being proactively acquired.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So if you go out door knocking, visiting businesses, that's outbound.
That's outbound.
Great.
Terrific.
So I hope that's clear.
Yes.
I'm clearer now.
Great.
It's good, I need to be clear.
Excellent.
Okay. Do you have a preferred sales strategy?
Look, I think I do have preferred strategies, but they're not the same. It depends on your product and it depends on the audience for that product. I would have a preference depending on the type of product as to what strategy I would deploy. For example, you may be looking at a telecommunications company that's starting up, and you could be looking at what we call a local area intensified marketing campaign. Okay. And then there's a specific strategy that you would deploy to try and extract the best result you can get.
Okay, because that's going to be a different strategy if you were, for instance, selling an app.
Correct. Totally different.
That might even be online.
That's correct. Yes. So
just
it could be very low touch, not much consumer activity at all, versus something like a telco product, which is much higher return, and therefore you can spend a lot more in your cost of acquisition.
Perfect. Okay, here's a bit of a curly one, I think. What do you think about the difference between traditional media and social media? What's the core difference?
The core difference, I guess, is the media or the platforms that it's generated on. So your typical, old school media channels, we'll call them, would be television, radio, print. Yep. And obviously the most disruptive form of marketing now is social media. Sure. One is shrinking. It's definitely a higher cost and a lot less targeted. The other, which is now social media, is growing at a rapid rate of knots. Absolutely.
So we've got web and online, but then we've also got mobile devices.
Correct.
Tell me a bit more about that, how you see the difference between those.
Well, I think the advantage of social media is that you can be very, very targeted about the demographic of person that you're getting to. For example, if you're running an ad on television, you can only drill down to a certain time slot to try to capture the audience, okay? Whereas with social media, you can be very specific because you have a lot more information about the people who are using it. So age, male, female, gender, those sort of things can be a lot more specific and also geographically targeted as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course. So in your mind, is there still a place for traditional media?
Definitely, there still is now, and obviously, larger organisations that have very big budgets find that television campaigns or radio campaigns or even print campaigns are still a very effective way of getting brand recognition out there very quickly, but it's a much bigger investment.
So we're talking really in this advertising space is more to do with a branding exercise TV and print as opposed to straight sales?
Look, it's a combination of. You
yeah.
can still have call to actions on your advertising to drive the phones to ring. But I think the advantage for small to medium business is definitely that social media typically gets you a better result for your spend.
Yeah, and that's my experience as well.
Yeah.
All right, final one. And are people getting the strategies right on social media on the whole?
Yeah, that's a great question, Ray. Unfortunately, I guess social media marketing is still quite new. Everyone's an expert, but most people that use social media actually don't really understand how to exploit the result from a social media campaign. And many people make the mistake of thinking they can run their own campaigns, and they just simply don't get the result that a professional can deliver.
Yeah, because they're not doing split testing, and
Correct.
you know, they don't understand I mean, a lot of people do have a good understanding of the platform, but messaging strategy comes into this.
Of course,
you know,
yes.
I mean, you can
know how you message and get the right message so that it does get the best result in terms of you know, acquiring new business.
Correct.
Conversion is what it's all about.
Oh, that's our focus.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you. Thanks, Mark. That was a great
Thanks, Ray.
vlog.
It was a pleasure.
Video vlog. And yeah, stay tuned for the next one.
Terrific.